So, Barbara, you've been working with them for 2 years?
2 years, yes.
That's great. So, have you seen a lot of changes in those 2 years in your restaurants? And that?
Oh yeah, definitely. I don't come from a restaurant background, so this was a whole lot of new stuff for me. So.
Everything new, yeah.
It's like every 3 months or more than that, things change around here. So.
Yeah, and some changes probably for good and some
for the better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, a lot for the better actually. I think sometimes it's just hard for people to accept change. So.
Yeah. And I know that when the package room came in, it was something that was new and it was different. And so it took some probably getting used to. But
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure the dishwashers liked it at first because it seemed like it might be more work for them. Mm-hmm. But now they're discovering that it's less and it saves us a lot more money. So
it actually saved them time in the way that they're processing.
Time, cleaning time and all that kind of stuff. So it's been great.
Yeah, especially I would think like cleaning up a mess that possibly from a bag ripping or something like that from the old system.
Right. And doing multiple trips compared to just one big trip now.
And one person can do the trash run now that they probably would have had to have two people possibly.
Well, it was usually just one person.
Did it?
You know, so that's why I'm saying it was a lot of back and forth because multiple trips had to be made.
Yeah.
And now it's just that one big haul.
That's great. So it probably saved a lot of backdoor exits too, and air conditioning on hot days. And
yeah.
That's great. and have you noticed that they've besides you're obviously saving on your waste hauling like $780 a month? That's huge.
Right.
Yeah. There's not many places in your restaurant that try to trim that kind of amount of money.
Right.
And so it was easy once they got used to it, right?
Yeah. And it's not a hard system. I mean, it was very easy to learn and see how it worked, and we haven't had any issues with it.
That's
so
great.
It's been great, yeah.
That's fantastic. So it's pretty turnkey even for new employees. They're able to come into the restaurant and one of the...
like, what's this? And then you show them how it works and, okay.
Easy, no problem.
So,
that's great. Yeah, that's what we want to make sure is that that was turnkey and simple for your employees, instruction-wise and everything, and that new hires can obviously adapt to it. That's great. And have you noticed that the back of the house is cleaner, more organized, like especially like the back door?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, there used to be trash cans everywhere, and now it seems to be a lot more uniform back there and a lot cleaner back there. There's a lot less messes to have to clean up for people dragging trash sometimes that they couldn't quite lift, or something that's broken open and then it's spilled all the way along the way.
Right.
Because now they're just wheeling that thing out there. So it's a lot less.
And our bags are maintaining the juices and fluids.
Absolutely. Those things are strong.
That's one of the it was harder to design the bags than it was actually the
really?
Yeah. So
the only thing we forget to do is order them sometimes. But there's a great lady that actually calls to remind us now. So
Louise, she's our phone order system.
Really well.
So it helps definitely. And so then that way we can even get you on an auto ship system too. So that's up to you.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's easy ways for you to, because we know you're running restaurants and you're busy. Yeah. And the last thing you want to do is run out, especially when your volume has been cut.
Right. And we can't just go grab garbage bags for those. So.
Yeah, it's very.
It's important to have those exact ones.
Yeah, and we can get that all set up for you. The other thing that's nice too, I think, that happened is the system kind of created your employees to do things in routine now that when they're not exiting as often, you might not have the opportunity to be stolen from also.
Oh, sure. And,
that
back door is definitely not flying open as often as it was.
Yeah. What do you think per day? What do you think per day it might have decreased on trips?
Probably 3/4 of how many times I would say.
So 3, 4, 5 trips maybe?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Five trips out the back door.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Sure,
so you get a little bit as a manager. Do you feel like you got a little bit more control over your restaurant? Because I know that was an access point for me that always worried me, that if somebody's going to steal a large quantity of food in the restaurant industry, we all know, unfortunately, it goes out in the trash run.
Right.
And so if we can hopefully decrease that, there's another benefit. We don't know how much that is. So that's great.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate all your inputs and everything. That's how we've adapted our system, and we know that Dine Equity is looking at rolling these out in others. And so
I think we were the first of the Applebees in our area to get it. So we were the big test driver. Everyone was coming over going, "What's this?"
Oh, I know.
And it's like, "Oh, this is groovy compactor. You want to see how it works?"
Isn't it funny how people, when they first see it, they're like, they get kind of like, wow, what?
Yeah, they're like, what?
And once you break yourself of a system that you're used to in that, and then you see all the savings.
But then when you see how much you save, I mean, cutting back a whole day of someone not having to come and pick up our trash, that was huge.
Yeah.
So, and I didn't even realize that the container itself had shrunk.
Yeah, they shrank too,
So, so that's
And that's
really big.
Yeah, and each store is different. That's what's weird about the waste, is that Sometimes we do it based on size of container. Sometimes we'll decrease or pick one out. So it all depends on each store.
Well, I think the first week that we tried it out, we were trying to see how many bags fit in one of those bags.
Yeah,
and I think it was like 13, I want to say.
Wow, you're probably
so that's huge.
Yeah,
if you think about that,
13
trash bags versus one.
And that's your Slim Jims, yeah. Oh, it's huge.
So that was the biggest eye opener for me.
Yeah, if you combined all that trash and kind of set it by the back door, you're like, oh my gosh, that's a lot of trash. Yeah, there's a lot more air in your trash than you thought.
And a lot of space we were wasting, exactly.
Yeah, you don't realize how much space is taken up by your products, your mixing containers, all your 5-gallon oil containers.
Right.
They all add up, and you're paying for space in that dumpster.
Right.
Yeah. Have you noticed too that the dumpster odors and cleanliness is a little bit cleaner?
Oh, you don't. Yeah.
Don't smell, even notice it.
Don't even notice it now.
Health inspector sometimes
unless something's
really
happened, So.
Yeah, because when they dump it, then all of a sudden there's not as much stuff in it. It's just rainwater and other stuff.
Right.
So.
Well, and the bags that these thicker bags that we're using, it seems to close everything in a lot tighter too. So the smell's not overflowing, or things aren't overflowing out of the trash. It's not just kind of loosely tied because there's bags in a bag.
Yeah.
And then they're all compacted. So all of that goes away as well.
That's great.
Which is good.
Yeah. I don't know if you had any problems with birds or bees or flies and things.
Yeah. And we've definitely noticed that that's gone.
Gone and got rid of it. Did you have any fly traps or anything you were spending money on that you might have got rid of?
Not that I remember.
Yeah, because a lot of times it happens.
Not outside anyway, yeah.
Yeah, because I've noticed a lot of restaurants have fly traps, and it's because we are putting out a big attractor for them.
Right.
And if we can change that system, hopefully we're not, making them attract to our back door.
Right.
And then they get in the restaurant. So that's
Absolutely.
great. Well,
cool.
That's good. Well, we appreciate it, and then thank you for all your time,
You're
Barbara.
welcome.
Yeah,
no
thanks.
Okay.
You have a wonderful day.
Thank you. You too.
It was painless, wasn't it?
Yes.
Exactly. It's not as hard as you thought.
I don't like talking on video.
Oh, I know, but once you get comfortable with it, everybody's like, oh, it's no big deal and everything.
I'm okay if I know exactly what you're gonna ask me, and I know enough about it to talk about it, but I just feel like I know I've been here 2 years, but I just feel like there's so much that
you're a newbie?
No,
I was a 7-year manager, and there was always something you're going to be learning. I mean, and the one that really surprised me was when I lost a vacuum cleaner, and when I found out from an employee later on how they smuggled it out, it was in a giant trash container that we had. So I immediately got rid of that. But then the problem is you hit on it, the trips start increasing, and we had a long distance to go. That's an employee cigarette break.
Yeah.
Or now cell phone text messages.
I worked with Starbucks for the last 10 years, and our garbage the garbage is there when you have to do a dump. It's always at least across the parking lot.
It's a long
If
walk.
not more, yeah.
So you lose an employee.
I can't tell you how many times I see people smoking cigarettes on their phone, doing this, doing that, and it's like, how long does trash run take?
That's where the control is lost in the restaurants. It's one of the largest control elements because they're out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
They feel like, hey, I'm going to do whatever.
Yeah.
And I always notice that too. And then the other one is that the back door sometimes is propped open, which can be a security threat. Luckily, you have caged in area.
Yeah, and ours is keyed too.
And locked, yeah. But a lot of restaurants don't have that.
You can flip shit over that wall anyway.
Thank you.
What I mean? If you have someone pulling up and then someone's right there, oh yeah, here you go.
Oh, I heard some ones where
and there's
people
about this much underneath the locked gated part that's on this side where they roll the dumpsters through usually.
Yeah, the dumpster doors. Yeah, the dock doors. So yeah, if you wanted to
slide it under too.
And now with our stuff being vacuum sealed and everything, it's so easy. And if it's frozen like a brick, you can sit out there for 3-4 hours until my shift's over.
Oh yeah.
And if I heard of one of the Applebees in Florida, guy was throwing the stuff over into the bushes. So then he'd go get it after shift. Yeah. So it's an eye-opener, and when I heard the statistics, 3 to 4% of restaurant sales can actually be, they think, attributed. This National Restaurant Association says, the magazine, that they think it's due to theft.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was an eye-opener. Yeah, so, well, good luck with your interview and everything.
Thank you.
So thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you have a wonderful day. All right, thanks.